Alexander the Great, a geographer warrior king, Macedonian Alexander the Great, in a remarkably short span of 12 years and 8 months, established complete or partial dominion over 18 states in today's political geography: Greece, Albania, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. Considering the unrest, wars, occupations, and unresolved conflicts in the lands stretching from the Middle East to Afghanistan today, the reasons for Alexander the Great's dominion over these vast territories are intriguing. His success can be attributed to his upbringing as a warrior since childhood, being groomed as the heir to the Macedonian kingdom, receiving excellent military and political education, and inheriting a technologically advanced army equipped with contemporary warfare tactics from his father. However, another significant factor in his success is his mastery over the terrain. If we examine Alexander the Great's campaign from a geographical perspective, it becomes evident that he was not just a skilled warrior, but also an adept geographer. Geography is a crucial element in warfare, favoring those who understand and utilize it effectively. The points of river crossings, mountain passes in rugged terrains, coastlines, bays, climate, settlement locations, distances, factors like forests and deserts are as influential in a military campaign as the strength of the army itself. Alexander the Great extensively leveraged geographical knowledge during his campaign and successfully overcame adverse geographical conditions. In the conquered territories, he demonstrated excellent spatial planning, including the selection of new city locations, urban plans, port construction, road development, organization of riverbeds, and the construction of dams and bridges. His interest in geography went beyond mere curiosity and exploration. He engaged with it scientifically. While benefiting from geography and his achievements, he also made scientific contributions to geography. In this study, an examination has been conducted on how Alexander the Great benefited from geography in his success. The research is not a chronological historical analysis of the campaign, but rather a thematic investigation based on the geography of the expedition. To understand the influence of Alexander the Great's campaign, the study started by examining information and maps about the geography, especially the shape of the world, from the Mediterranean countries and the Greeks up until the 4th century BC. Various geographical factors influencing the campaign route, such as capitals, ports, trade routes, etc. Strategic utilization of space including straits, rivers, mountain passes, battlefield dynamics, and the relationship between geography and climate effects on the campaign, as well as spatial planning aspects, urban planning, road and bridge construction, shipyard construction, river rehabilitation, have been examined under separate headings to understand the contribution of the campaign to science and geography. Describing Alexander the Great's campaign in today's geography is challenging because the geography of the 4th century BC differs significantly from the present day. The coastline of the 4th century BC, not only in major deltas but also in small bays, has changed over the past 2,330 years, progressing towards the sea in varying amounts in each bay. Evidence of the port cities conquered by Alexander the Great has been buried under alluvium. Inland, rivers have changed their courses over time. Therefore, explaining the battlefield locations, which were considered riverfronts during that period, with today's riverbeds is not feasible. Evidence from the cities captured in the interior during that era has largely disappeared due to the influence of subsequent cultures. Transportation and economic activities related to geography were different from today in the 4th century BC. Hence, this research investigates Alexander the Great's campaign in the geography of the 4th century BC. Studies by geographers about ancient coastlines and riverbeds constitute crucial documents in this regard. The most accurate results emerge through the synthesis of research conducted by archaeologists, historians, and geographers. In this research, the historical, archaeological, and geographical synthesis of the 4th century BC has been conducted in the territories under Alexander the Great's rule. Researchers studying Alexander the Great spend more time than anticipated. One reason for this is that Despite details of his life being known from childhood, the lack of consistency in his plans and the unknown aspects of his thoughts extend the research time. Studies on Alexander the Great are fundamentally based on the same sources. However, the results differ depending on historical, military, or political interpretations. In this research, Alexander the Great's campaign is interpreted in terms of geography, geographical knowledge in the Mediterranean region in the 4th century BC. Alexander the Great's conquests and his continuous desire to push boundaries were not only a result of his leadership in battles but also highlighted his interest in geography and exploration. Since childhood, Alexander stood out with his curiosity to explore distant geographies and different cultures. His fascination was fueled by studying Aristotle's works on geography. Alexander's geographical curiosity dates back to his childhood. His questions to Persian envoys visiting his father's palace about countries and routes exemplify his geographical interest. Although there is no information that Alexander received formal geographical education as Aristotle's student, he was exposed to Aristotle's publications on meteorology, planets, constellations, plants, and animals during his tutoring. Alexander, while reading books describing the Middle East and Asia published in the Hellenistic world, further intensified his interest in geographical exploration. What he read inspired him to use his war skills to overcome geographical conditions and venture into more distant geographies. His curiosity about distant countries and the desire for exploration, combined with his dissatisfaction with the conquered lands, encouraged him to move further east. However, the limited and inconsistent geographical information available in the books of the time left uncertainties for Alexander. Despite the unrealistic information in Ctesias's book about India, there was no reliable source for Alexander. Nevertheless, his work Anabasis provided him with a reliable guide on the geography of Anatolia. Alexander's conquest of the Persian Empire encouraged him to aim for the conquest of the world. Yet, the geographical knowledge of the world during that time was limited, ranging from Ireland to the Gulf of Guinea in the west, the coast of Africa to Somalia in the east, and only extending as far as India in Asia. During his campaign, Alexander planned and executed his journeys using geographical information and maps. However, the geographical knowledge of the time was incomplete and contradictory. For instance, uncertainties about whether the Caspian Sea was a gulf connected to the ocean, and debates about the source of the Indus River transformed Alexander's campaign into a geographical exploration. In conclusion, Alexander's campaign serves as an important example for determining geographical knowledge. He effectively used geographical information during his wars, made spatial plans in the conquered lands, and contributed to expanding the geographical knowledge of his era. However, due to knowledge gaps and contradictions, Alexander's indecisiveness about moving eastward continued.